Take a deep breath. Now tell me, have you ever felt like the world got way too shallow, but nobody wants to admit it? They sold you the idea that freedom meant doing whatever you wanted, but they forgot to mention that without purpose, even freedom becomes a cage. Nietzsche warned us, God is dead. And today, we're witnessing it in real time. Not in ancient books, not in epic wars, but in 15-second stories, in empty reels, in the inability to feel anything that lasts longer than a swipe. And what happens when even the last lucid voice of spirituality, that pope who dared to talk about the future, literally dies? The brutal truth is this: there's no one left to blame. All that's left is the mirror, and the question almost no one dares to ask. Are you ready to become the creator of your own life? Stay with me until the end, because what you all discover here might not just change how you see the world, it might change who you decide to become within it. The world changed, but not everyone noticed. When Nietzsche said God is dead, he wasn't talking about a literal murder. He was talking about the slow evaporation of the sacred, the collapse of meaning that once held civilizations together. And in this void, modern nihilism grew wild, like a garden of thorns where the flowers are made of plastic. Today, instead of seeking transcendence, we chase validation on screens. Likes replace prayers, emojis replace real tears, and the fire that once guided entire cultures now burns for TikTok dances. Nietzsche could already see the seeds of what we now call contemporary superficiality. He knew that without a center, humanity wouldn't fall into despair immediately. It would drown in entertainment. And here we are, mindlessly chasing the next notification like starving animals chasing scraps of meaning. Every swipe upwards is a silent attempt to outrun the spiritual crisis that gnaws at us beneath the surface. But running was never the answer. What we truly lack isn't distraction. It's a new construction of values. A compass made from within, not borrowed from broken idols. It is strange. The death of God didn't turn us into raging monsters like some feared. No, it turned us into something worse, indifferent. Without a compass, without a destiny, the modern human doesn't scream at the sky. He simply deletes another app and downloads a new one. The feeling of existence without purpose hides behind a fake smile of freedom. But deep down, late at night, the same question echoes: where am I going? And why? Nietzsche offered no easy solution. He dared us to face the abyss and create anyway. The real transvaluation of values begins when we look into nothingness and still choose to build. Maybe that means writing a book nobody asked for. Maybe quitting a job that crushes your soul. Or simply deciding today that you are worthy, even if no one claps. The new sacred won't fall from the sky. It must rise from within. And if the last man lights a candle on TikTok, maybe, just maybe, it's because deep down, he still longs for a light he can't name. Even in superficiality, there's a hidden cry for meaning. A cry that, if we dare to hear it, leads us to confront the deeper ghosts that religion and tradition once tried to keep at bay. There's a special kind of sadness almost no one talks about. The mourning for ideas that could have blossomed, but were smothered by cynicism. That progressive pope carried an almost impossible mission: to reconcile faith and reason in an era where faith already felt like an outdated relic. He spoke of empathy, of science, of justice. And yet, most people didn't want to hear it. His death wasn't just the passing of a man. It was the burial of a timid hope for spiritual renewal. In a world numbed by a spiritual crisis, his voice became nothing but a faint echo. Nietzsche would see this with pitiless clarity. He knew that a religion trying to modernize without confronting its own decay was just delaying its inevitable collapse. Caught between centuries of oppressive morality and the quicksand of contemporary superficiality, the church could barely stand. That pope tried to say, maybe there's still room for an honest kind of faith. But honesty demands depth, and the modern heart, too full of dopamine and distractions, has no patience for depth. The death of meaning isn't loud, it's slow. It's the silent erosion of everything sacred, until nothing's left but content and consumption. While the Pope spoke of love, empathy, and rebuilding bridges, the world scrolled past, craving the next scandal or the next viral cat video. This isn't just a crisis of religion. It's a deep fracture in the human spirit itself, one that can't be fixed with better marketing, flashier sermons, or trendy philosophies. The only cure is the messy, painful work of building new values, one soul at a time. And for that, there are no shortcuts. And so we arrive at a brutal realization. If even the clearest, most sincere attempts at renewal are mocked or ignored, then modern nihilism isn't just alive. It's thriving, walking down red carpets, smiling for the cameras, sharing existential memes between brunches. Modern nihilism doesn't arrive with apocalyptic trumpets. It strolls in, wearing designer brands, and posts inspirational quotes on Instagram. It sells you the illusion of depth, while quietly hollowing you out inside. And the scariest part? Normal to live without purpose. The contemporary superficiality we're drowning in thrives because we're terrified of silence. Real silence. Every 15-second clip, every viral dance, every half-baked self-help quote. It's all anesthesia for the deeper ache. Nietzsche warned us, without a core, life becomes a circus. And when life becomes a circus, it doesn't collapse dramatically. It fades into endless distractions. The tragedy isn't that we lost meaning. Freedom without purpose becomes just another form of slavery, a suggestion for a rebellion. The biggest trap of modern nihilism is its camouflage. It preaches be yourself without ever showing how. It makes rebellion look like conformity in fancier clothes. Real rebellion now? It's about creating meaning even when no one's watching. And for that, you need a will to power strong enough to stand alone. To build not because the world demands it, but because your soul refuses to rot. If even religion can't offer answers anymore, who will rise from the ashes of old certainties to sculpt the future? Maybe, just maybe, it starts with those crazy enough to look into the abyss and smile back. Nietzsche didn't cheer when he declared, "God is dead," because when God dies, the safety net disappears. You're no longer a child held by a cosmic father. You're a creator now, whether you like it or not. And when that progressive pope physically died, it wasn't just a funeral. It was the loud announcement that the old world has no saviors left. From now on, the responsibility is yours, fully. The pope's death wasn't just the passing of a progressive spirit. It was a visible crack in the already crumbling wall of spiritual crisis. And if you think TikToks and think pieces will fill that void, think again. Without a deep will to power, without the courage to transvaluate the values, you become nothing more than a ghost drifting from distraction to distraction. And the world will gladly keep you busy and empty. The tragic part is not that the Pope died. The tragic part is that the world barely noticed. Not the sacred silence of mourning, the numb silence of a world that no longer knows how to grieve what matters. That's the real death of meaning. Nietzsche wasn't asking for the destruction of everything sacred. He was demanding that we stop lying to ourselves, that we rebuild from scratch, from the rawness of real life, that we invent values rooted in our lived experience, not borrowed from dead idols. A small suggestion to start? Audit your daily habits, every single one, and ask, did I choose this, or was I conditioned to accept it? Because meaning isn't waiting to be found, it's waiting to be built. And in this uncomfortable, terrifying truth, there's also a hidden liberation. If no one's coming to save you, it means you're free to save yourself. So here we are. No ancient gods to lean on, and maybe that's the real battle of our time. Not survival, but meaning. The silent, invisible war between creating a life that matters and slipping quietly into numbness. You won't find the answers on your feed. Not in viral trends, not in motivational slogans, not in chasing someone else's idea of fulfillment. The real answers demand solitude, the kind of courage that doesn't get applause, the kind that burns quietly in the chest of those who refuse to give up, even when no one is watching. So the question is no longer, will someone fix this? The question is, will I rise when the world falls asleep? And if this conversation stirred something inside you, even a small flicker, then maybe it's time to honor it. Maybe it's time to stop scrolling past your own life. Maybe it's time to build something no one can take away from you. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to stay on this journey with me. Hit the like button, not because of the algorithm, but because you're choosing to feed your mind with something real. Subscribe to the channel, because we're just getting started, and the world needs more creators of meaning, now more than ever.